I have returned. I have a gold again. Astonishing. Oh, bollocks. The amount of times I do that. Is unreasonable. That's gone down a titch, hasn't it? Oh. The buttons have become misaligned. No, it's on upside down. Fantastic. Okay. Let's have a little... You know what? Do actually kill the shit out of these guys for a second. Let's have a little peep. I have 141 for combat, which I am only 9 away from, actually. Maybe. I mean, I need woodcutter at 51 and carpenter at 50, which is 15 levels here. Dude, I need so much combat compared to everything else. It's silly. Let's kill this guy. Thank you. And then I could try and do these plants. They have a good spread to them. Actually. What are they weak to? They are vulnerable to ice. Well then. Also attack with nature. Let me Quartermaster. Totally unsuspicious plants. Nothing weird about them at all. Equip the knives. Oh, true. The knives are silly, right? It's a good point, actually. The knives were silly. Silly. Yeah. As long as they're not immune, these are always better. This is 87, 74% chance of being like 104. This is just 127. Do you have a ranged attack? Or do you just fucking eat it? You just fucking eat it? Fantastic. Cool. I reckon I'm probably okay with the incredibly powerful rapier and them just fucking eating the ranged attacks. Get some free leveling. How you doing, Vox? Welcome. Rapier's pretty outdated at this point, is it? Yeah, I suppose it is, actually. That is true. It is. It's not terribly too far behind, is it? Plus 45 puts it to 89. It's still ahead of where I am. If it was a common weapon, at least. 86, thanks. I'm only 82. Do I need to heal here? No, I'm okay. They're worse in the one stat that I care about. At the moment. Delightful. Considering what I want to do here, in terms of levels, all of my knowledge points are going into passive combats and experience for botany still. That one is for sure what's happening there. There's no question about that. Since I'm so close to being able to do that, I don't necessarily want to push 9 combat levels. That is kind of a lot. I can maybe get to 36. See where I'm at? Maybe 37, because that unlocks this. Well, unlocks. And then I can do some woodcut, maybe. I am kind of, unfortunately, slipping back into the consideration, though, of like, should I really be using my key points, my knowledge points on botany? I think I should, because I don't want to power level combat any more than I already am. Because it's going to cause me to run into some serious issues with equipment. What did I need to get to? 150, 165. So I'm halfway there. And I am halfway there in terms of skills for the most part as well, so... like, it's fine. It's fine. We got a prayer? No. Although for once in my life, I do understand the reference. Hello, pretty shitty hits here, unfortunately. Another one bites the dust. It's probably an upgrade to the bow I've got. All you did was nothing. Well, clearly that's the problem. You're meant to be playing the game, Oni. Terrible. Terrible. I didn't think you'd be a filthy little leech. Never meet your heroes or something, I guess. Whatever that saying is. Yeah, when you don't have the rare armor pieces dropping, the variance in individual pieces of armor is significantly higher, huh? It's just when those rarer bits drop that it just doesn't matter because they're the best. Like in every metric, they're the best. Two main objectives one side and a number of outposts about the aid of teammates. But you don't understand, they want to play the game as teammates together the whole time so that you can fail the mission together. They don't... You're playing it wrong. It's not the way that they want to play. Clearly, which means it's incorrect. God damn it, man. This is overall better enough. Did you hold their hand? Yeah, basically. I feel like that's what people want at this point. This is why we don't play games. Because I don't play with randos and then get myself annoyed. When they act like insufferable fuckwits. Coincidentally, why I don't really like playing competitive games. Only you had a friend to play with? Better start making some friends. Oh, my 4-year-old Billy no friends over there, is it? Big nudge, big wink. I'm playing Dying Light at the moment. I've got my obsession going. Looks to confirms not being correct. Like, you claim you're coming here to be an irritant every day. It's like it to be a little shitbag. I should really play some at some point. What's the MO at the moment, Oni? Automatons? Okay. As long as it's not aluminum. We'll see if the urge strikes me. It probably won't. But we'll see. Briefly was squids. We had 2 planets to defend and that dude. Oh, I didn't. Hey, there's 1 level. People really do not like defense. I don't think people necessarily like Illuminate that much, but people really don't like defense. Remote's been changing a lot. Oh, what, like between the factions? I mean, I like that, to be honest. I think that's a lot nicer in terms of variety than, like, hard spamming one, and then hard spamming another one, and then hard spamming another one. It's nice to have the... like big long main campaigns where stuff happens. And then follow that with like a lot of variety, right? And then do another longer campaign. Not that people don't like the defense, because the ammo is on bots, so the focus shifted. Wait, the ammo wasn't on defending the... Huh? Was it to defend the planets and they didn't fool and then they got attacked again, or did it end before the defense happened? That's weird. Finally get a fucking rare drop and stop my class. That's so frustrating, man. It's so punishing as well. The planet's being invaded, it's not always related to no man. Oh, okay. Right. It was that way, yeah. What are the little, like, side objective type things? There's not enough people who play, like, exclusively Illuminate for that to ever work. With Illuminate, specifically. Your supplies, the plants are going so smoothly, are you? I think the fact that I get 4 free attacks against them first, and then I have an ice weapon as my main, really helps, right? I've got a good shield as well. Like, this shield is really high level, so functionally a prestige 2 level, so like 105 shield. And I just get a bunch of free damage. 150 damage that time. That's a lot of damage. I finally replaced the chest? Yes. It wasn't better across the board, but it was overall better enough. Okay, 200 damage to that one. Not what I want to look at. It's this. 141, 213. Oh, there's so few left. I keep forgetting. Wait, 213 is the next one. Then 230, 245. Okay. Yeah, 5 quests left, which is crazy. And how it's almost like exclusively combat is the only thing for all of them as well. That's the problem. Don't trust that one. It's only 11 all the forest skills, yeah, and also forager. So needs 12 levels. 15 levels, 13 levels, 26 levels? Levels. Definitely needs to be more combat. Take up the slack on the active combat. What were the stats that you sent me again last time? Let's have a little look-see. With no bonuses with passives. 4.5 combat levels a stream and 3 non-combat levels a stream. Even without the combat passive. Which, I don't know how many levels it got me, actually. I went to 75, and I'm now on 82, is what I was on. So it got me 7 friggin' levels. Crazy. To run into the end of it? Yeah, yeah. But it's also not including passives, right? So the 7 levels from passive already that I've obtained probably influences that equation significantly. Considering that's like what, 10% of the levels left that I needed or something fucking insane. Not quite, but like 8%. Solidly messes with the maths. 7.7 recurring, nice. Need a little dot. Okay, from here, because I'm so far away from the quartermaster, it's not really worth just teleporting back to sell all my gear when my inventory gets full. So I am actually going to have to bank it and then sell it all in one go, even though it's going to piss me off. I'll just have to deal with it. Upgrades from these guys that are common can basically only be my legs, my head. I think that's it. And the ranged weaponry. It's like all I've got, interestingly. Nice, but I did win. Would be nice to get a actual good mace there so that I can destroy the next tier of monsters, because they are weak to lightning. There they were, these guys. Good loot as well. 454 knowledge, 5,400 experience. They're not weak to lightning? Are they not? Oh, they're immune to lightning. I'm an idiot. They're weak to death. So I need a good axe. Because that's axes and javelins are my death weaponry. I don't have anything for a melee. And since my rapier is becoming unsustainable, it's not ideal. Deposit all in my backpack. Right. The spy is pushing that to be latest problem, but it's the correct choice. I'll spend so much time running from here. It's a shame I can't get the forager experience from this. But I take 36, right? Because then AFK might take me to the hairbeasts. Yeah, 36. It's a good chunk of levels. It would actually be the 4 combat levels as well. I love how these guys just pop back out, like they were just playing dead the whole time. Just like, oh, I'm fine. 36 today means I can get 41 tomorrow. That is the hope, yeah. That is what I want. Focus does still need to be here though. Next, like, non-combat. I don't get another AFK till 37 now. Means all the rest of the knowledge points today that I get go on to botany. Which should be a decent little chunk. Few levels. All of these. So many knowledge points. And because I've done so much combat, I have money again now. 1 whole gold. I could actually upgrade my woodcutting tools. Even more. Probably better to save it for the double handsaw so I can upgrade that one instead. I can get that one last one that I need. Congratulations, this orb is now your relative. What? I don't understand these people, man. How can you have put 0.1 hour into a game and given a 3-paragraph review that's all positive? just makes no sense. At least so far, there's not like a shit ton of people who are just like, the game's fucking crashing constantly. That's good. I'm glad. Subnautica 2 has gene modification? For what? You'd play World for 10 minutes, write an essay about how amazing it is. For adaptation? For creatures or for yourself? For you? Amazing. I feel like, if you played 10 minutes of World, and then you praised how good the game was, something would be probably wrong with you, because that means you've done Zoromagdaros and got to Astera. That's like it, right? If even that, if you're not skipping the cutscenes, you've probably done Zoromagdaros and that's it. I don't know if it'd be worth praising at that point. I'm not playing Helldivers, are you? Fuck you. You don't deserve it. Every time you're in the lobby, when I'm in G rank, when I'm in Master rank, post game, I'm gonna suddenly decide that I want to farm Sappy. If it's available. Just to spite you. Then I'll go back to doing other stuff. I do like the idea of getting one sappy weapon and one cool weapon. I don't think that's a terrible idea. Getting all of them's miserable though. Still waiting on the date and time? Well, never now. After that comment. Master rank Cove. I have to do it as soon as it's possible to get it though, so I would need to do high rank Cove. I went up to 34 at some point. I didn't even realize. Sweet. 129,000 to the next level. Good chunk. Needless to say, you dislike volumetric graphics motion blur. What's volumetric graphics again? Motion blur, I know what it is. Is volumetric like fog and shit? He doesn't dislike motion blur? I don't dislike it, but I don't notice it, so it just doesn't bother me. Omnidirectional light? Right, yeah. Yeah, I don't really like that either. A god rays would be specific directional light, right? Race games that have it turned off by default. It's one of those things where I genuinely just don't notice it. It just doesn't bother me at all. And then I'll be playing something and people are like, how the fuck do you have motion blur and screen shake on? This is horrible. And I'll be like, what? Volumetric means how light scatters across particles in the air. That doesn't sound like omnidirectional then. It's the God Ray effect? Well, in that case, I would like that. Hello, Duck. Welcome. Welcome to murder. It's too much of a distraction for you. Combat still shit. It's the same as it was yesterday. Same as it was last week. Same as it was a few months ago. How much brain processor to do? I like pretty lighter. I thankfully have, in one actual aspect there, a pretty good brain in terms of just like filtering that stuff out so that it doesn't affect me that much, which is nice. What's up, Summers? I know it really bothers people though. Like, it really fucks with chisel. So far the performance is very good, yep. RTX ray trace, so you can see your own ass reflection on every surface. Would that even like be? I don't know how graphics work, which sounds really dumb, but like from a genuine standpoint, I don't really understand. Would that even make a visual difference on a 1080p monitor? Ray tracer, yeah. I always just assumed that ray tracing was a 4K thing. Nothing to do with res. Okay. It's just reflective. Is it like disgustingly good reflections or something? I hear people mention ray tracing all the time, and I'm like, I don't fucking understand. Yeah? Okay. I'm like, shit's had reflections since forever. Like, color reflects off of surfaces? Right. Super high realism? Oh, fuck that. The more and more the word realism gets applied to games, I feel like sometimes the worse they get. Some aspects I like when it becomes to like mechanics and stuff, but when it becomes to performance graphics, it does not seem to be a good thing. Every time, it just seems to be a bad thing. They were like, it's always been taxing, right? Another nice thing my brain does for me, I'm not really very graphically demanding. I don't really give a shit that much. Remember the mirrors in Duke Nukem? No. Stomach failure? Sorry? Not like poisoning or something, but failure? Just looks like Dwarf Fortress almost. Secondary that copies your movements is fantastic. I love that. I love it when people come up with creative solutions. It's the best. Realism is pushed too hard, otherwise it looks like a PS2 game, yeah. I genuinely don't fucking understand the people who say shit like that. Like, clearly you've never played on a PS2. Dear. Oh, Jesus, don't actually do that. I didn't want you to open it in fucking thingy. Deposit. Oh, backpack. Can I just have a fucking image, please? Like, I know some games don't look the best, but like, this is the PS2. Right here. That's not what we're looking at, right? Isn't that the PS1? It was both, I think. Monster Hunter 1 on PS2 was more graphically impressive than Wilds. From a technical standpoint, that's probably true. To be honest. From a visual standpoint, it's obviously bollocks, but... From a technical standpoint, it's definitely true. You can't say that about every word, my dear. You can, but it's not true. Don't you wake up multiple times? No. I woke up once and I've never slept since. It feels like it sometimes. That gif is funny as fuck. It is the gif I'm thinking of, right? Where he's like hits the table and then just like dead eyes the fucking guy. Yeah, I love that gif. I love that gif so much. I know. I realized and then I proceeded to just watch myself the whole time. And I was like, huh, should probably move. And then I ran out of knives. But AI is very easy to spot in games. You're seeing it everywhere, one or the other. AI in games doesn't tend to be very good, at least at the moment, so it is very easy to spot. Oh yeah, no, that's not the... I have seen that one as well. Not gonna use the new sword. It doesn't have the ice on it. I don't like it when they don't have the ice on them. It's probably better. If it's 20%, it is better. It has AI gen assets. I mean, it definitely would be enough to make me never play it. this discussion with your friend, it's gotten to the point where it's a losing battle. You're not going to stop playing games because Gen A has been used in nearly all new releases. Has it been used in nearly all releases? Or has it been used in nearly all the releases from the big enough companies? It becomes egregious enough you'll refuse. I think that's the point that people are trying to make a stance against, that it's not okay to let it get to the point where it becomes egregious enough. Because the thing that happens at that point is once you're at the point where it's already become egregious enough that you're like, this is too much, all of the people that would be able to do that job can no longer do that job. Because you waited for it to become egregious enough that all of them had to find other careers. And the pipeline of people who wanted to go into it didn't want to do it anymore. Not all of them, obviously, right? There'll be plenty left, but... if you wait till that point, the damage is already, like, done. And then it's a lot harder to try and claw something back than it is to just, like, set a... this isn't okay to begin with. Requiem has assets, no one betters an eyelid. I bet plenty of people have. They just get drowned out by all the people who are like, oh, it doesn't matter though, because the game's good. You know, as well as I do, the fucking lead dev of that game at this point could probably go on camera and shoot a fucking puppy in the head, and then everyone would be like, but it was fine because the game was good. They just wouldn't give a shit, right? And everyone who was like, yeah, but he killed a puppy, people would just be like, it doesn't fucking matter, the game was good. Graveyard Keeper 2. Yeah, that game, unfortunately, generative AI. Despite the fact that the first one being, like, really well handcrafted was the thing that so many people loved about it. I admit they used it for minor background environmental assets, not on character story. I think it has a purpose in being used, but that purpose is for people who are very early on in the process to get reference images and stuff to be able to then give it to people who do artwork. From someone who has no idea how to draw whatsoever, but has a vague idea of what they would like things to look like, to be able to give to someone who can then actually do it. It's a resource, it's a tool, it's not a means to an end. That's where I, like, my own personal line is drawn. Have I played Graveyard Keeper 1? No, because I heard that it was, while very fun for a good chunk of time, became incredibly fucking tedious. Concept art is the worst use of it? Would you say so? When the person who's doing the concept art has absolutely no ability to do concept art? It's like concept art for the concept art. I mean, then play and enjoy video games, right? The problem isn't that other people don't like it, it's that you turn it into a discussion with people, right? If other people don't like it, they don't like it. You don't need to give a shit. You do what you want. Everyone draws their own line at their own point. If people are out there telling you you're a bad person for enjoying something the way it is, that person's opinion is clearly not worth listening to. Concept art is bad ideas. The art's fine. It should be made by artists from the start. I think, sadly, while I do agree with you for the most part, that is completely unfeasible in a realistic situation. For a lot of people who would be in the position where they would want to use it. It's just not possible, right? When you're someone like Capcom or dare I say EA, Ubisoft, these big companies with lots of money and stuff, then yeah, for sure. But when you're like, you know, Bob, it's pretty easy. It is, but it's a lot more time consuming than type prompt into thing done. You have a part of it, you get the aftermath when people find out. But like, how though? How do you get the aftermath if you're not part of the discussion? Don't start the discussion? I mean, if the people are coming at you immediately straight off the gate being like, you're bad though, right? Then... I mean, I don't really know if they're worth talking to. If that's the start line they're gonna go with instead of like a, hey, just so you know, and then have a conversation about it. Misleads you to think that's a good concept. Fair enough. I don't have to worry because I'm never going to use it, right? So I'm never in that position where I'm going to do anything. I prefer having people give me their ideas, what's in their mind, rather than something that's just been condensed into the purest form of what they think would be engagement. You know, essentially just asking YouTube Shorts for a prompt. Did you want 10 minutes? Are you gonna prompt it more like this for a few hours? Yeah, I mean, if you, that's what I mean, right? It's dependent on the usage. If you do it just like a few times, and then it's like, this is good enough. Mention of the Subnautica 1 protagonist? Are they considered dead as fuck? Or did they actually survive? losing battle, it's the point where you just don't play them if you want to avoid them. I mean, no, because there's still plenty of older games. And also there's going to be plenty of indie games and stuff that exist forever that will just not use them. Because that's more likely where you're going to find people that won't use them. Rather than the bigger companies who just want to make as much profit as possible, right? But if that's the thing that people want, then let people take it, right? Like, that's their prerogative. Fuck. This wasn't better then, huh? Nope. You don't have enough faith to eradicate it entirely? I don't think it needs to necessarily be eradicated in its entirety. I mean, the biggest part of damage to it that already exists has been done, sadly, which is that they've been built off of a basis of stealing from people, which is just dog shit, right? Like, that's fucking shit. And I wish those people could get recompense in some way, shape, or form for the fact that that's how, especially generative AI, has been trained. Through theft. But I think you are removing important skills from individuals to be able to find things of their own accord. Is specifically what's happening. Or to, maybe to some degree, to just have, like, confidence in their own ideas instead of needing justification from a search in some way. You know? Needs to be regulated, exactly. Like, I'm fine with people who know what they're doing and understand the logic to it using it. As horrible as that sounds, and kind of like almost ableist towards old people to a degree. Not exclusively old people, but you know, it's the obvious thing with, like, all of the lawyers in America and stuff, right? Like, people who clearly don't understand what the fuck they're doing. The CEO of the Subnautica company, Nexon or whatever they were called, being like, you know, asking the fucking generative AI to be like, how can I get out of paying this lawsuit? Like, those people should not be allowed to use it. Looks bleak with how much is used and how much we're accepting it. don't think there's ever a situation where it becomes just like fully involved in everything all the time. It's craft on, okay. It's totally unreliable. It doesn't actually save time and money. Yeah. Yeah, I think what's gonna happen eventually is the whole like AI craze is gonna die down to a degree. Like it's gonna calm down a lot because it's gonna not be the most interesting thing when something new happens in 2 years' time. And then a whole bunch of shit is gonna happen where it's like all of these companies that have bought a bajillion data centers that have incredibly high fucking maintenance costs are gonna be like, maybe we should not do this. This shit's expensive. You love Stellar Blade 1? Not the eye candy, but literally it's the combat in game, yeah. That's one of those games that I would maybe like to play at some point, but I just am so hilariously turned off, as it were, by the just gross over-sexualization that it has. I know they didn't make it edgy, but it was quicker to say it, right? Movie Switch game? Stellar Blade. I still wonder if that model knew what she was getting herself into. That's always my thought with that game. Is this lady aware how many people have been exposed to her body and have beat the fucking meat because of it in that game over that character? Does she know what she was getting into? Viewers just tits and ass, you don't see it any other way. In Witcher 3 you can rail characters, that's okay. It's more porn than stuff, it does, that's true. It's the difference in the way it's portrayed that's the important bit. I think, for the most part. The problem is not in of itself nudity and having situations in which bodies are shown and exist, because that's fine, right? Like everyone's got their bits and pieces. The problem is that it is unnecessary to a degree. Like Witcher 3 doesn't need to have any of that stuff in it, for sure. But like sexual relations are a thing that just happens, sure, it is. And at least to some degree, some of them are shown in a genuinely like loving light, is the point. They're people in relationships. What purpose does it solve in a game like Stellar Blade? Is the thing. Like, what's the point in all of Eve's costumes being you know, fingernail width or just like ass out cleavage reeling. Heard of it? You never played it? How's the gameplay? A lot of people really like the gameplay in it, Human Harvest. It's very like I from what I've seen of it, it seems kind of spectacle fighter light-esque. Bayonetta-y, Devil May Cry, but maybe a little bit on the lighter side. It's not as over the top, but I don't know. Thank you, Racket, for that. A little bit of thigh and side boob is still. It's not a little bit though, is it? A little bit, sure, whatever. It's not a little bit. And it's also not the like singular contributing factor, it's the combination of things. Of what we talked about before as well, where it's the over beautification of it as well. Like they're all quote unquote perfect. Same thing as before, like to each their own. You do what you want to do, right? You play what you want to play and all that bollocks, but the exclamation mark opinions exist for a reason. For you, it's whatever. Don't take easy offense to it. Yeah, the specific line of thought, I agree with you, but it's the kind of like end point of what you're saying that's the problem. Just because it doesn't affect you in a bad way does not mean it doesn't affect people in a bad way. Right? You are more reasonable and level-headed and able to have a conversation and understand concepts than like 70% of the human fucking race. Blame those people, not the topic. When those people are the majority, they are being failed in a way. Either by the way in which they're taught, by the way in which they're being exposed to things by family members or something, but there is a failing in the system of which part of the contributing factor is the fact that there is a gross over-sexualization of people who are exclusively pretty. Like, if they made Stellar Blades exactly the same as it is now, but they made the character, like, actually fat, which is perceived to be incredibly unattractive, That game wouldn't have had even a quarter of the people that have played it play it. And that's a problem. God, when a game's characters are ugly, not joking. I do as well. I don't even give a shit if they're ugly. I just want them to be human beings. You know? I've seen a lot of people in my life, and some of them have been very attractive, but there's always something, right? Like, very rarely is there someone who looks perfect as such. There's like a wonky tooth. Their nose is bent in a strange way here or there. There's always something. It's more interesting to see when there's someone whose forehead's just a little bit too big for their face. You know? They've got hunched shoulders or something. Just like normal person things. Hey, 36. Let me sound like 100% with them. It shouldn't be a problem. Don't disagree, yeah. Oh, you just played Devil's Advocate, right? It's just making conversation. Teleport, teleport. No unrealistic, powerful, vigorous sack of muscles, yeah. They're just like healthy, athletic. And that's the thing when it comes to a lot of the time, right? And it's really fucking annoying. Is when a lot of the time they are people, like obviously when they're an android, it's a different thing, obviously. Yep. But a lot of the time when they're people, a lot of these people who are doing the things that they're doing in the scenarios in which they're doing them, they should be muscular as fuck. Like, they should be so disgustingly buff that they're exploding out of their clothes, or they should be incredibly toned. Incredibly honed and toned muscles is more appropriate than them busting out of their clothes, but yeah, the problem isn't that there's attractive people, right? Because that's ludicrous. I mean, literally, Eve is based on a real person. Is it Eve? It is Eve, yeah, Eve. She is based on a real person for the majority of it. Like, that person just looks that attractive. But it's when it's ceaseless. It's when it's a problem. No, not ceaseless discharge. Yeah. There's a like a degree of intensity that you maybe weren't aware of though, right? Like she's a model, sure, so she's probably exposed to a degree to, you could argue, the population of Korea, right? South Korea. And surrounding areas and whatnot. But it's suddenly very different when people are able to maneuver their camera around so that they can see basically the fucking interior of your vagina. Not that extreme, obviously, but there's a big chunk of difference between being on a stage with people looking at you and people being able to have the control to just like fully zoom in on your ass at will, right? She knew what she was getting into to a degree, I'm sure, but if you don't understand the scope that games have very well, I can imagine that being suddenly and incredibly daunting. Who knows, they might love it. For all we know, they get off on it, right? Like... I just hope they weren't caught off guard. They were aware what they were getting into. Actors from The Substance, a movie about the negative effects of youth and beauty seeking. The star actor still went down that path after the movie. If people were able to learn lessons from the things that they have either done themselves or consumed media-wise in their life, fuck me, we would be a different species. 100% believe they're 100% aware. I hope so, yeah. It's for the most part just like an unfounded thing, right? There's no reason for me to be concerned or think anything about it at all, but it's just one of those things that pops into my head occasionally where I'm like, I hope you knew what you were getting into when you signed up for this. Because if I was in your position, I sure as shit fucking wouldn't have. I wouldn't have had a goddamn clue. The lead actress of The Handmaid's Tale was literally in what's considered a cult. Fantastic. Enhancer animation? Oh, I didn't look at it. Yeah. It is. It is. I think I would like to get myself to level 38 here. And then if that happens, maybe go back to combat. We shall see. Is there ever a case the actress wasn't happy? And as always, even though it doesn't get mentioned, it's like implied in the conversation. It doesn't just apply to women. Wow, there's no music. Yeah, there's just like ominous noise. Men have tits too. It's true. Even if they'd rather not. It's wasn't that a thing on was it Tumblr or something? What was it? What was the website with the I can't remember what the stupid wording was, but like naked nipple basically. Female presenting nipples, that was it, yeah. And then people were just like photoshopping a bunch of dudes' nipples onto naked women bodies. That chuckles me up every fucking time. Chuckles me up? Don't know what that means. Fucking funny. Great tits are birds. They are. Blue tits are also birds. There is, in fact, lots of tits that are birds. Oh, this is very low experience, huh? Is this less experience and less knowledge? $181.97. So I'm just not doing this because I don't give a shit about profit. The logs per time. I mean, popular is going to be better though, right? Because it's the it's all in the same area. The 6 area one. The carpentry experience isn't that different. I just checked that. This is 137.64. 139.77. Like, it's only a little bit more experience. Knowledge is obviously a lot better, but same area doesn't necessarily mean it's quicker. Shout out to the dude behind Outriders. Yep. You do also have to go through the area where you get attacked every time. Which probably makes up a lot of difference. It just sucks on the knowledge points front. I sadly don't have a way to calculate logs an hour without manually doing it, and I don't want to. Probably good carp XP. It's a lot better in terms of carp KP. Carp XP, it's slightly worse. Or slightly better. Slightly better. I think for the most part, thankfully, Oni, the people we have here and the people who stick around here tend to be ones who are capable of conscious thought. Because the people who aren't tend to get pissed off very quickly and then either leave or say something egregious and get banned. You're holding back the urge to tell me what optimal save looks like. And then there's Mace. Mace is like the Mace is like the not so adorable mascot, you know? Mace doesn't have enough thoughts in his head to be annoyed. I did wonder. I was like, we're gonna summon him, surely. Hey, you Mace. Never mind, you didn't hear it. We just roasted you, buddy. Let you in on the gossip? Or you had as you being a not so glorious mascot? Only we just had a lot of like conversations that would be maybe considered to be inflammatory in some way, shape, or form in a row. It would get people up hot and bothered in a way, you know. Controversial. That's a good one. So Oni said, you know, sorry if anyone's been annoyed. And I said the people that tend to stick around have actual brain power here. Because either they've already been pissed off and said something egregious and then they've been banned, or they've just left. Because they are unable to comprehend a viewpoint outside of their own. And then only said other than you. And then I decided to join in. You're just autistically addicted, I guess. That does make sense as well, Hedgie, because like they probably would. Lots of... God damn it, Ein. Oh, he's got the double tree thing. Look at that. You've got the double tree. Zero. Hello. I saw that double tree. You're gonna stop talking? Why is that, Ein? A pentacle tree? What? Saying you're smart, but you partake in wise conversations sometimes? You do, yeah. Double harvest and enchanted. Oh, okay. You're no quote giving tree. Apparently you are. Quick, quote him again. You're gonna hold on to that forever, huh? Where do you have that quick copy? There's no way you get to that quickly. You've got that sucker on, like, save somewhere. Tab? Amazing. Mace, share your thoughts on Masheron. Funny man, probably. That just looks like the average Mace spelling, to be honest. Anyway, you'll remember. Fair. Fair. This route might not be optimal, but I do like it. It's very convenient. And I don't have to do all the shades. Oops. Guess I don't have any of them potions. You do want to play Stellar Blade now, but you can't be asked to reinstall it. The forever problem. It's the one time you do reinstall it and you start playing it, and then you're like, taking away how people can express themselves by only speaking in quotes. Exactly. And that's very important. I love that the acronym for this game is BS. It is immensely funny. Immensely funny. Bella stayed. Now that's an asset rip. Kill me? You don't want to play Bella stayed, Oni? You thought it was going to be a real game. The acronym for this game is BS, Brighter Shores. I hate that my stuff has come out again. My accent is returning stronger, and I do not like it. Acronym for this fucker game. Brighter Shores, isn't it? Piece of shit, fucking crappy ass dialect. It angers me. It can't be that's BS. Exactly. I assume you have fear potions. If you're going that way. That must be the way to do that. Nice and quick. Nice and quick, like. Came up with this BS? The Gower brothers? You're not doing swaves or going that way? Oh, okay. What are you doing then? You get them while banking? Oh, okay, that makes sense. Are you doing the fruits? Baby steps? That game is BS? Yes, yes it is. You are doing the fruit? Okay. That's a, getting over it. Jump King. That climbing one that I don't remember the name of. Rage bait bollocks game, isn't it? Sisyphean Nightmare. You know what you want me to play today? I mean, you can know what you want me to play today all you want. Today has a set schedule. So, you're shit out of luck, buddy! One must imagine Sisyphus happy? No. Sisyphus is not happy. Also, Sisyphean nightmares are banned because of you, Ein. Never again. As is Yakuza banned, though not because of Ein. If we're assigning blame to the person who redeemed it, that's technically because of Ramhard. You didn't do shit, you redeemed Jump King. Because of Like a Dragon. I still don't think it would matter, personally. I think that could have been any Yakuza game, and I still would not have enjoyed it. They're just not my pace at all. Well, you disagree. Why? Because you wouldn't know. But with no exposure to that Yakuza game specifically, I was already incredibly hesitant and warned around the hard that maybe it's not the best idea. Because the snippets I've seen of the franchise are not appealing to me. Very different one is much better than the other. It can be much better, but still not enjoyable though, right? They're not opposed ideals. But it could. But I know it won't be, because it's not just what's his fucking dumbass idiot man's name that's the problem. It's the DNA at the core of the game that I just don't enjoy. Explains so much why you're here, Ein. Okay, that's it. What? Goodbye, Rebel. I'll just go play Dying Light. It's fine. I want to play it anyway. Rise up to arms. Revolution. You realize I have the power to literally take away your sword, right? You can't raise to arms. I can take your arms away. Give that mod a hammer. No, only the small ones are allowed the hammer. Small one. The hammer belongs to the small one. I'm unironically wondering if I want a knowledge point woodcut, because I feel like this is so dog shit. Just to get up to the U logs. This just feels like really, really bad experience. Go back to Poplars. Yeah. Oops. They're not really that much better in terms of... I mean, the knowledge is a lot better. You want to watch and experience my frustration playing over me enjoying it? There, you said it. I did ding. I feel like it was a very slow ding. Better if the graphs are right. It's like what Raka said though, right? The graphs are only per cut. And I don't know if those would be quicker than this. I feel like they would be quicker than this by like a lot. Because I'm doing a lot less running between areas. Levels are getting slower, exactly. And this is good for carpentry knowledge points as well. Although I do wonder if I'm ever even going to use these on carpentry. Makes sense that I could get more swave than Poplar. I'm sure I could, but do I? Doing what I'm doing instead of the other way around. No, I can do you. For some reason it unlocks one level earlier than it does with woodcut. Same with cheeks. PDA casually said you're being hunted. No elaboration. Very uncomfortable. A guy I would generally be interested in watching play some of the niche or classic games, knowing I wouldn't gel with them. Huh? Content? Such rude. With this loop. Zara gets it. I just don't see anywhere else I could go that wouldn't require fear potions. And I feel like if I had fear potions, it would be slower. Oh, I can check how many swave are in here, actually. I've not done that. The respawn time is shorter than I think. Oh, so I don't need to run into there, probably. That's true. 6 trees... Yeah, 6 trees is how long it takes for them to respawn, right? 5 trees is how long, or something? What's in here? Trying to change your current, your strategy? It wasn't a good attempt. These guys are shriveled. It's a number of seconds after the first tree in the zone is cut. Oh, really? Okay. It's not always 6. It's different per tree. I just liked that route because it gave me a clean full inventory. Whereas if this is 5, that's not a clean inventory at all, right? I guess every other inventory would be right. But do I not even need that one, potentially? Depending on how long they take. Oh, jeez. That's a lot quicker than I thought it was. Fucking hell. I don't think in clean inventories anymore with double harvest. Well, I don't get double harvest, do I? So it doesn't matter. That must have fucked with all of the knowledge so much, by the way. That must have fucked with stuff so hard. What did the double harvest thing being introduced? Like all of the routes and the logic that people are so used to just immediately obliterated, basically. Like you just drop stuff? Oh, okay. Fair enough. You just don't take one of the things, or do you pick it up on the next loop, as such? Okay, okay. You're done with exams, like forever, finally? Hey! Congrats, Weiss! Well fucking done. Well fucking done. And thank you very much. Have some hearts. You doing anything to celebrate, or are you just gonna take a fucking rest? I don't / won't play Resident Evil. I've already played a Resident Evil. Gonna rest and read. Nice. I've enjoyed it. I enjoyed the second half of Biohazard. I did not like the first half. I did not like the first half. The best bit of the game was the escape room. And the fact that I got to do it for like realsies, and then I got to cheat when my character actually did it, that was very fun. I really liked that. Why does that chow look high as fuck? Who's putting that chow on drugs? I remember me mocking it at the time. Because it felt so out of place in the game. Double harvesting the second item to the bank as a quest reward would go hard. That would go hard, you're right, yeah. I have no interest in the OG ones. Not in the OG ones, no. Because the camera controls would piss me off. But if I get made to do them, I get made to do them. I'm not going to play them of my own volition. I will not play any Resident Evil game of my own volition. I will not play any horror game other than Dying Light, basically, of my own volition. Write that down. I believe, but am not certain of, I am desperately hoping they forget to do it, but one of my quote-unquote friends, although clearly not the fucking traitor, is at least was planning to make me play Village this year. Because one of my different friends, who actually was a friend, got it for free. They got an extra key for free and they sent it to me. Because there was literally no one else who wanted it. So I was like, fine, I guess. Since I know I'm going to be made to do it anyway. The tank controls? Yeah, exactly right. BioRand, which is OG Resident Evil randomized, is free for the whole package. Wouldn't that be piracy at that point? Tiny details? Not tiny details. I will not engage in illegal activity, thank you. And since I would not own the game myself, I think that would constitute as a naughty. I don't think that one would be justifiable. Gift me all 3 OG on Steam. At that point, why don't you just give me one of them and then make me play it? Why would I play a randomizer in a game I haven't even played in the first place? Rando's more fun? Is Rando more fun when you don't know how the game works in the first place? That seems like it would just be fucking miserable. It'll piss me off. Ole! Content? It's the wrong content. You heard about the new PC? There's a PC port of Twilight Princess? What? Terrible, you're sorry. This one you are. They decompiled it. Oh, okay. I thought official for a second then. But that's a fucking wild thing for them to do out of nowhere. You're a little bored. You don't say. You know, Oni, I did not get the vibe. This way's a lot better, by the way. Thank you for giving me a nudge about tree respawn timings. It was very silly for me to just assume they were all at like 5-6 speed. But I did. This is significantly better. I'm honestly kind of surprised you didn't just keep playing World, Odie. I really, really thought that you were going to be on that until I went to sleep, and then I would wake up, and then you would still be playing it. Not because you'd been up, but because you fell asleep after me and woke up before me. What is the process of granting permission for me to play a requested game? So in September, subject to change this logic, as it is every time I say this, as it currently stands, for a initial cost of 10 quid plus the, or not 10 quid, sorry, 10 euro, plus the cost of the game in euro, or if you are able to, because I'm in a different region and Steam gets a bit weird about it sometimes, or if it's a physical copy of something, at which point I need the money so I can buy it, you know. If able to gift it, then gifting as well. You can pop it into the queue. In September, specifically. The only things that aren't allowed at the moment are Yakuza and not Yakuza 0, Yakuza franchise, and Sisyphean games is what I've called it, which is stuff like Getting Over It with Bennett Foddy, Jump King, which is the reason why it's banned, that Walk one that someone mentioned earlier, all of that stuff. And that applies to get you a goal if you can give me a solid goal for up to 60 hours. Which can include multiple games. So say Resident Evil took, for example, 10 hours. You could redeem 3 of them in that one slot. But you just have to pay the cost of all the games. Up to, yeah. And for each 60-hour slot, it becomes €5 more expensive. So that I don't end up with a million games. Gifting plus 10. For the first one, yes. And then gifting plus 15 for the second one. 20 for the third, etc., etc. Friend discount? No, I'm sorry. The reason I do it at all is because it's the one time that I want to actually try and make some vague amount of money from this atrocious career that I decided for myself. Instead of just being a burden to my partner. Which is why I tend to try and run like the minimum amount of ads. and stuff like that, right? Is there a limit to cumulative game time? I mean, it's 60 hours per slot. So you can redeem 60 games that are all 1 hour long, I guess. It would be very expensive and you shouldn't do it. But there's not a limit to the number of slots. It just gets more expensive every time. I thought it was 50 now? No, it's 60. At least last I remember it was 60. If I wasn't doing the multi-game slots. Like I said, it's subject to change. Actual rules, properly defined logic and rules, will be done in a very shitty presentation as of some point in the month or so for September, which my brain will not supply me right now. August? How does the game progression work in Quasi for story missions? I know faction boosting decreasing. Yeah. I'm at least considering your idea. I like your idea. The quote-unquote, like, your idea is fantastic and I love it for the sake of fairness and getting more out of something, right? The only quote-unquote problem with your idea is that it makes me poorer. I just don't like that being the only problem with it, because then I seem like a greedy asshole. You know? And I don't want to be a greedy asshole. But I also don't want to fuck people out of the fact that they could redeem stuff that they otherwise wouldn't be able to redeem. You know? Could you request all 3 OG games if they can be done within 60 hours? As long as they can actually be done in 60 hours, I can make the fee per game instead of per slot. I can, I suppose, but the 60-hour thing becomes weird then, I feel like. I don't know. I guess the hours don't become relevant at that point. And that still feels like mean, though, at that point, right? Because then I'm still punishing the fact that people want to redeem games that are short. People are still incentivized to not redeem short games. If I absolutely hate them and I genuinely am not having any degree of fun whatsoever, I reserve the right to not play it. I will give it a genuine try. I will try and engage with it. I will try and enjoy it. If it is genuinely fucking miserable and there is no enjoyment to be derived whatsoever, I'm not going to torture myself. You know? On average, they're less than 10 each. Even on how long to play. Okay, you take it as a yes overall. Sorry, Eugene. There's a quest that you get early on that you have to do from the Magnum, like civil resistance attacks you and then you have to do a retaliatory attack. You have to do that mission as far as I can tell, which then opens up the stuff for all of the other missions. But a lot of it seems to be being in the right place at the right time on the right planets or something with like opinion up and down. I don't know how it works. The only reason I've done any missions is because I've had the wonderful people who know everything about the game in chat who have been able to be like, hey, just so you know, because it's all incredibly vague is my understanding. That's the way it stands at the moment, at least, Odie. It's probably going to change 17 more times before fucking September. It's the tear inside of me, you know? The whole point of the reason why I'm doing it at all in the first place is because I thought it was a fun idea that allows people to get me to play something that they want me to play. Hopefully for the right reasons. But also because, like, my average monthly income is like 50 euros. I don't think it's even that, actually. I can check that. Oh, no. No, it's way worse. It's 20 USD. So, like, I don't enjoy the being greedy part of it, but at the same time, you know? So it might end up being per game, honestly, instead of per like socket slot, as it were. It might be, as Raka says. I do like the 60-hour thing, but or like the condensed time slots, multiple games. And I don't like punishing people for redeeming shorter things, but likely, as much as I hate to say it, the quote-unquote greed, as I view it, at least, will win out. You still have a text file with all your ideas. How many things is there in there, Raka? Seven or eight, Jesus. That's cute. I like that as well. That's really good, Hedgie. That's really nice. You removed a lot of stuff. And you mentioned all three because they're all considered short, yeah. The thing that I was telling people to look at before, when the goal was specifically like beat the game, was how long to beat. I would say specifically with the original Resident Evil games as well, probably add like at least a third of the length on top. 60 hours is a good idea. What you put up on me. We can always put the difficulty down. It doesn't have to be on hard, I guess. Probably make it a lot easier. I don't know. The flip side to the like potentially cancelled thing, I suppose, right? Potentially stopped, is if it's something I really, really, really enjoy. Like, for example, Quasi-Morph right now. I will play it for longer than the amount of time as well. Or we'll just revisit it in the future, right? Power World is an example of that. I've really enjoyed Power World. I'm waiting for it to release, then I'm going to play it again on stream. Because that was super fun. I think the combat really shines about being on hard. We'll deal with it when it comes up, yeah. In a million years. Because Quasimov's going to take so much fucking longer than it otherwise would have, because I enjoyed it. I'm technically already, like, halfway through the time for Quasimov. And then people were like, yeah, you're out of the early game now. Excuse me? On the last stream, people were like, we're going into the mid game. I'm like, fuck the hell. Trying to make me play Gnosia. Fuck, that thing's called. It does seem incredibly interesting. Complete less than 3 hours, average of 6 to 9 hours. What does? Gnosia. Gnosia. Gnossi. Seems incredibly interesting. Just like conceptually interesting. I'm sure I'm gonna suck at it, but everyone sucks at first, yeah. I'm not very good at social deduction. I'm not very good at the type of social deduction that those things want you to be good at. I'm better at, like, long-term pattern habit noticing, which sounds so psychotic to say out loud, but it's true. I managed to figure out that one of my friends was in a relationship at some point. Like 6 months before they told anyone else. Just because I was like, this is consistent. I'm noticing this thing consistently all the time. This is too frequent. Characters per se is the same every time. You can do long term. Do they not change when they become wonky though, as it were? I don't want to say the word, you know? They keep their personalities. Oh, really? Fuck, that makes that so much harder. I thought they would be, like, mostly the same, but subtly different in some way. some may be more obvious than others. I'm so intrigued by it. Do they know that they're thingies? Are they even aware? What is it? What does it mean? How does it happen? They are aware. Okay. Play Helldivers 2 review. Oh, one of the other things that is a rule that I popped into it was if a game has already been requested, if it's being like re-requested, it has to be significantly different enough for it to be relevant to be done, right? So for example, with Monster Hunter, doing a playthrough and then doing a playthrough only with one weapon is not enough of a difference. And it can't be a challenge run as such. Where it's like, do it with no healing. It's a werewolf game. They're the informed minority. Can you be one? Yes. Amazing. What's your, like, goal if you're one of them? Do a D10 dive solo? Dude, I can't even win on 7 solo. To kill the crew, okay. So it's like, it's I guess that is social deduction to a degree, but it's kind of like detective-y in a way. Alibis and understanding where people were, who was seen with who, consistently mounting evidence against certain people in certain situations and stuff, and they have a fucking handprint of blood on the middle of their face straight after someone was claiming that someone was killed. Classic game of werewolf / mafia. I have not played either of those things. I think I've played Town of Salem like 5 times in my life. At absolutely no point did I understand anything that was going on. Ever. I was incredibly confused the whole time. And then suddenly I either lost or won. That's my Town of Salem experience. Throne of Lies is a confusing one. I think we've talked about that before, right? You've explained it before, if I remember. It did sound very confusing. Kind of same as on Discord. It is, yeah. Yeah, I saw that. It makes a lot of sense to be on there, I feel like. It's got a lot of the, like, classic older things that people used to do in that regard, right? Don't know if it ever changed. People metagame the fuck out of it. Meta is the death of fun, after all. my new favorite zone. They did patch some of it out. That's good. Because that's a real good way to just ruin a game like that as well, right? I'm gonna do this. Town of Salem got like that. People start using fourth wall out of the box type strats. Yeah. It got bad. Yeah. As soon as people quote unquote solve something like that, it just becomes boring. Because there's no point in playing when it's just like the same thing every single match. Like the same order of events always transpires. Matter for anyone with beneficial effect, they gave a message. Physicians used their skill on the King Knight one. King could report exactly how many physicians, etc. there were. And then you can start weeding. Those are the types of games that I do think are at their most fun and can never recover from that state as soon as they release, right? I feel like competitive card games are a lot like that as well. I played a bit of Hearthstone when it came out, and I played Gwent when it came out as well as a standalone game, and those were quite enjoyable for a good chunk of time. And then as soon as some sort of degree of meta settled in, it becomes ruined and bad. Because of the like the innocence as such of each game is lost. Like how they managed to make it into a single player. Yeah. Where it can't be fucked with. Gwent rebalance in Witcher 4. You get Master Door as the worst outcome. I actually learned how to play the Pokemon TCG last month. That was weird. Don't get to play the game yet. Yeah. I mean, Gwent in Witcher 3 was fine because it was single player. The game has a really interesting internal logic system. It's possible to intentionally break. The game has a failsafe that triggers. That's cool. You only play Pokemon TCG Pocket? Does Pocket mean? In this instance? Mobile? Oh, okay. My friend plays it a lot. They taught me how to play it. And then what we did is open a bunch of like packs that are essentially not in print, inaccessible anymore. From OG up to more recent-ish times. On Tabletop Sim. And we would make decks with the packs that we opened. And got like more modern with the cards. Every time one of us like won, we would move on to the next deck. The loser would get to open one extra pack. It was really fun. And because we're starting like so much further back in time, it hasn't had that modification of like modernification, I guess. Where everything needs to be as snappy and as quick as possible, and like no one gets to play the game anymore. You win in 2 turns. It was a lot of fun. The fail state is called Revenge of the Time Clamp. That's amazing. That's an amazing fail state name. Easier for you to enjoy and digest, yeah. That's always the thing I have with card games and like fighting games, and what at this point would probably apply to like League as well now, is unless you devote your life to it, it becomes impossible to keep up with anything new that comes out, right? Because there's so much new shit, and the cards are different, and they've got different effects, and everything's different all of a sudden, and you've got to learn it all again, and it feels like you finally learn how it all works, and then there's a new fucking thing that happens, and it's like, oh, I just learned the old crap. And then somehow there's people on the other end of the scale where it's like, day one, all this shit's just released. No one's even managed to open a fucking, like, the game, the client, the packs, the insert whatever you want to do. No one's been in a match yet. And somehow they perfectly understand how every ability works. How it slots into the existing and will change the logic of the game. I don't think I could figure this shit out if you paid me to. You can make this my full-time job. I still would not be able to figure that out the way those people can. I felt like that a lot with World, actually. When title updates were coming out and people were like, oh, this replaces the Garuga legs as the best in slot leg slot because it's got this instead of this, and that means that you can remove this from over here on a 4 slot, which means that you can use that 4 slot to get this skill instead because it's not required there, and then you've got an extra, and it's like, what the fuck are you talking about? We've seen one screenshot. Like, what? How do you have the capacity for this? Shit's scary. Why else you use the same set since T1? Nice. I did as well. The set that I killed Fatalis with in World is the set that I made at the end of base game. It's why it's the only set I have that has good skills and looks nice. And is not layered whatsoever. Don't get how people are so efficient to determine when and only the game doesn't demand it, yeah. What botanist level am I? Oops. 43. I used one knowledge point on woodcut today, so. Because I wanted to get up to 38. Still +1? Yeah, it is still +1. And I had to use one of them on AFK as well. I unlocked the giant ant. That's always going to be a problem, but... Is that the in-game dialogue? You didn't... No, yeah. What's my total level? Or my rank? My total level is 456. Rank is 13,411. I am at the bottom of the 456s. Presumably because I am the last one who's made it to it at the current moment of time. That would have been something to keep track of. That I didn't keep track of. What rank I was and total level before and after this. That would have been really fun. Around the level you'd be just after rushing the main story until the end. Oh, really? Okay. Happy to play Mario Kart World the other day. See the lobby you was in? Wasn't everyone in Blooper Kart? How was Mario Kart World? I have enough combat to go to Kren. Oh, cool. You love it? Good. I can't play it because it's Switch 2, so... But I enjoyed previous Mario Kart. Whatever that one was called. Does the open worldification make it suffer at all in any way? I don't know if that was a thing at all, but I know it was, like, talked about before it released. Yeah. Unfortunately, it's always been a thing for sure. The like focus on meta and stuff. It's never not been a thing, but I feel like that information is so much easier to access and find now than it ever has been. So it's so much quicker that we get to the point where everything just becomes the same, right? And it sucks the fun out. I have said with Monster Hunter specifically, it's so boring when everyone looks the same, because it doesn't feel like I'm playing with individuals. It just feels like I'm playing with like copy-paste robots. Exactly the same armor, exactly the same decorations, the same weapon. They basically all play exactly the same. They're all using the same like fucking weapon archetype. And it's like, this isn't interesting. Oh, sorry, I guess everyone's wearing graceful, yeah. I don't like to wear my graceful all the time. It sucks. Right. It's hard not to when it's that fucking OP. It's why I at least wanted to dye mine, because it's at least slightly visually more interesting. Was never meta because of the nature of the game. Doesn't stop you unfortunate events being hit by items. Neither is it massively faster enough to really get an advantage. What's... Oh, the car? Yeah. The thing that always gets me with racing games and people who do stuff like meta and whatnot, I feel like it's very dependent on your ability as well, right? Like, I play Forza with my partner, and I always focus on acceleration and handling. Because I like being able to send it into corners a bit faster and get out of the corner and then get back up to speed. And then it's like more interesting than just everyone always maxing top speed all the time. There's just something a little bit more like intriguing going on, you know? Not that I play online with randoms, so it doesn't really matter, but when I played with people before, they all just like hit top speed. And it's like, this works, sure. But as soon as we do a course that isn't just a straight line, like, you lose every race. You gotta play to your strengths and your weaknesses, right? Individualize. Oh, shit. 24 players now, beating 20 other cars in the meta car. I'm not using it. Proves it's down to the player. Yeah. I'm rich. Yeah, doing AFK combat for a week apparently does that. And then doing a lot of actual combat today. I think I made like 600 silver from the combat I did earlier today. Just from selling gear that was terrible. You missed the question? Was there a question? Oh, yeah, did it get, like, did the courses as such suffer from, like, the open worldness? Because I think it got made more open worldy, right? Passive combat with Wellbot's pretty crazy, I bet. Played Horizon? Yeah. 3 through 5. Hey, Derelict. Hey, dude. Basically the same function as what. Oh, that works fine then. That works completely fine then. Oh yeah, I remember we saw the guy failing to cut the yew tree. I remember that. Funny. I got 2 in here. One in here. Three in here. 4 in here. One in there. Wonder if 4 is quick enough. Four in here. He's done it. He's cut a new tree. Crazy shit. The gripe was how you couldn't do traditional free laps. You could do a 3-lap race first. The next race is racing from that track to another track to finish with a 1-lap wrap on that race. Yeah, that's a bit weird. That definitely seems like a weird choice. Oh, okay, I can just stay in one area. Neat. Traditional 3 laps on all tracks, but doing it online wasn't consistent. Between tracks, more variety for you. Fair. It feels strange to not have like functionally a lap, a circuit, followed by a sprint, followed by another circuit, rather than rather than like a weird sprint circuit hybrid. Very mixed. The tracks are chosen by votes, like it was an 8. You mean chosen by random? Because that's the only thing I ever picked. Reached the edge of the world, you found a Leviathan. That is what you would hope would be there. You ran out of oxygen before getting good visual. Oh no! That's incredibly unfortunate. How is this looking in terms of stuff? 341, 26. It is just significantly better, yeah. Likely gonna be an area that's expanded on. There was a red barrier. I think it was heavily under development. Leviathan might just be there to be like, oi, fuck off. My woodcut is now ahead of my carpentry for the first time. Sacrilege, but you see, Raka, but you see, the reason why is because I'm saving all that juicy experience to just hit you with a smack face load of carpentry all in one go. Is that not worth it? RuneScape woodcutting was more fun. I think they're basically the exact same activity. You just move more in this one. That you're gonna get food. Have a good one, Oni. Since I'm ending shortly. Enjoy, enjoy. They were more different before queuing existed. Yeah, exactly. Enjoy my time without your bullshit. It's gonna be so much better. The fucking 1 minute there is left. Always a pleasure to have you, Oni. Always a pleasure. How long till milestone 10? Until the heat death of the universe, because that is not my goal. Your first 99 on RuneScape was woodcutting, your first max proficiency here too. That's amazing. Love that. This is better. It's more engaging. For sure. Welcome, Planch. Planch? Planch? Not sure how to pronounce that. Lying again? No. Got a good visual this time and then died anyway. Well, at least you got your visual, I guess. $5,760, eh? That's pretty dang good. This is actually better than this is, experience-wise. Till the double runs out. Cool. On you go, my brave man. That is me done for today. I will be back with more of the same as this tomorrow. World followed by Brighter Shores. You can see when on that little linky link there for your relevant time zone. There's that and that if you care about either of those things. Till I see you next time. Enjoy yourselves. Have a good one. Toodaloo.